Hello and welcome to the third episode of the SimpleSwap podcast. 2023 started off strong, and we already have some interesting news from the world of crypto to talk about. Today, we're going to discuss the most significant happenings of the month of January. My name is Dan. Let's get started. So to start off, BTC brought in some good news. The main highlight of this month has been the price of Bitcoin, which has reached pre-FTX levels. At the beginning of January, its price was $16,650, but it grew to over $23,000 on January 23rd. And as a result, the community has had different views on both the reasons and the meaning of the increase, with some even stating that the bearish trend is now over. While such high hopes are probably too optimistic, the good news is that it still provided much needed relief to all crypto enthusiasts. In other news, the World Economic Forum took place in Davos, and crypto was one of the main topics of discussion during the forum, which took place from the 16th to the 20th of January. It started first with a panel of experts discussing how the metaverse could deliver practical utility for large-scale industries like healthcare and retail. The WEF had an initiative called Defining and Building the Metaverse, with over 120 participants. Second, the experts underlined the importance of education in the sphere of blockchain. And finally, the topic of growing uncertainty in the crypto industry post-FTX was addressed. And FTX, unsurprisingly, the story goes on. There have been a few developments where former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried pleaded not guilty to all charges and denied the allegations. He might potentially face 8 criminal counts, and if he's convicted, this could result in 115 years in prison. Meanwhile, the authorities keep trying to trace the user's funds, and what is more is that the new FTX CEO John Ray said he was exploring the possibility of relaunching the exchange, and FTT's price started to increase on January 10. And because of that, it soared over 42% on January 16. But the views of the community are divided on whether this is an actual comeback or a fake pump. Another happening news is that Gemini and Genesis are being sued. The crypto companies face charges by the US Securities and Exchange Commission because of allegedly selling an unregistered securities through Gemini's Earn program. The offer from 2020 promised customers interest on their crypto, which they gave out for loans, but did it without the registration with the commission. And later on, the crypto lender Genesis filed for bankruptcy. Also interestingly, Bitzlato faced enforcement in the US. The Hong Kong registered crypto exchange was labeled as a money laundering concern because of its alleged connections to Russian illicit finance. The US authorities have stated that there are also links to the Hydra darknet marketplace. So far, they seized the company's website and arrested Bitzlato's founder, Anatoly Legodimov. And a push was made towards mass adoption. Hong Kong-based asset manager Hashkey Capital raised $500 million to promote the mass adoption of blockchain technologies. The company plans to support startups and key crypto infrastructure. Previously, they have invested in some of the biggest market players. Hashkey Capital's team is convinced that investors are still interested in such topics despite the crypto winter. And lastly, Bitcoin was featured on a runway. The Miss Universe contest was an unlikely feature on our podcast, but here we are. Miss El Salvador, Alejandra Guajardo, surprised everyone with a Bitcoin-inspired gold bodysuit. The choice is not too surprising for the crypto-friendly state. In 2021, El Salvador recognized BTC as a legal tender, and in November 2022, the country's president announced that they are going to buy 1 Bitcoin every day. Unfortunately, despite the crypto community's support, the beauty queen didn't win. But the memorable outfit definitely did make a splash. Well, that's all for today's episode on our podcast. Don't forget to tune in next time for more updates and insights on the world of cryptocurrency. Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.